Hello, my fellow Americans. I'm Z, and I'm sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled broadcast. However, what I'm about to tell you, they don't want you to hear. But I implore you to listen to it because I still believe in America. Today is Commander Day, the day our dear leader began to save America. I imagine right now he is giving a glorious speech about his accomplishments and that America has never been better. That he and he alone could save us, that without him, America would surely fall into despair. To me, today is the anniversary of the fall of our once great country, less free and more afraid. The sick sicker, the poor poorer, the rich richer, and the corrupt walk away from their crimes scot-free. Although I don't agree with the commander, I do understand how we might appeal to my fellow Americans. Promises of prosperity, a return to a golden age, and ridding of the so-called enemies from within. All it would have to take is to give away some of your freedoms to secure this. Turn a blind eye and things will be better than they have ever been. But I wonder, how many live in fear, wondering if they will be taken from their homes? How many American families have been torn apart? How many Americans have died at the hands of this regime, and how many more are still to come? Do you think America is better today than we were before? Are you happier, safer, richer? If you are, do you think about what it cost? The true price Americans are paying? To me, the commander isn't anything but a pathetic, weak old man, enriching himself and his fellow elites from the hard work of Americans that built this nation. A man clinging on to power so desperately he is willing to do anything, no matter the cost, to hold on to it. A man who doesn't understand what it truly means to be an American, to work hard or fight for something other than himself, ruling by fear and force, afraid of freedom, equality, and justice. That is why, starting this Commander Day, we take back our home. We take back America. Our lives should be filled with joy, not fear. A true leader would be uniting our country, not tearing it apart. Together we are strong because of our differences, not in spite of them. To be ruled by people who care about their fellow Americans rather than hate them because they are different. To me, America is one big, complicated family. We don't agree on everything, and we may not always get along, but like family, we should always be there for one another when times get tough. The shared ideals like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is what makes us Americans. Is it worth it to throw it all away due to fear? To roll over like a dog and let democracy die? Each lie the regime spews tries to make it easier to swallow, but I'd rather starve than believe those lies. Freeze takes people from their homes, kills our fellow Americans in our neighborhoods, all while being funded by our hard-earned tax dollars. Would you be fine with it if they took your mother, your father, your sister, or your brother? What about your spouse or your children? Would you feel differently then, or would you still turn a blind eye to the atrocities in front of you? Perhaps as Americans, we don't always see eye to eye, but I hope we all can agree that we should want what is best for our family, that the next generation can have it better than we do. I know that is one of the things I want most of all, that things don't have to be the way they are, because they weren't always this way. I remember when playgrounds were full of laughter. Children rode their bikes on the street where soldiers have now taken their place. It can be easy to be overwhelmed with emotion, to be angry by the things we are told and shown. To be afraid to be angry is to be human. I am angry. I am angry at the atrocities they commit every day, but if we do nothing about it, then they win. If they make us feel that we are powerless, bombarded by each horrific act, but not willing to fight, then they have already won, defeating us long before we were even ready to fight. That is why to be ruled by such emotions is dangerous. It allows others to rule us, getting a rise out of us and stealing our precious time and attention, manipulating us for their own agendas. What the regime feeds us is exactly that, sowing distrust in our fellow Americans, making neighbors turn on neighbors, Americans on their fellow Americans. If I could leave you with one question to dwell on, why would they want to do that? I plead with you to talk to your fellow Americans in person, those who maybe look different than you or have different beliefs. Ask them about their struggles, their hopes, their dreams. Perhaps they might not seem so different from yourself after all. The regime wants you to believe that we must return to the past to become a great nation once again. I can understand why he would want this, but to live in the past comes at the cost of the present and the future. America, like any other nation, does have a complicated past, one that we can learn from, I believe. We've done a lot of good and we've made some mistakes along the way. History is funny in that it doesn't repeat so much as it rhymes. The path the commander has set us on is a dark path, but I don't think it is too late to change. Often in history, some of the darkest times have brought about the greatest change, both for the better and for the worse. I think we can come out of this a better nation, in spite of everything the commander has done. It will take time to heal, but America is tough, and we've always made it through time after time again, so why should this be any different? America was founded on the idea that one could make their dreams come true through hard work and dedication, for anyone to have a better life if they were willing to give it their all, a place where everyone is equal to one another, to live freely without the fear of oppression. I see an America that can learn from the past in tandem with the present to create a better future, rather than trying to relive a bygone era. The commander is an old man that has no stake in the future. Rather, his love for greed and power is destroying it all for the Americans to come if we don't do anything about it. That is why I, Z, am running for president in 2032. I know the commander will label me a terrorist or a radical, but I am just an American who loves his country and wants the best for it. I want to instill the idea that anyone can make their dreams come true through hard work, no matter who you are, that the ideals the founding fathers instilled in us and that our soldiers died for still exist today for every American, that together we can create a better tomorrow, but we have to start today. I ask you to talk to your fellow Americans and to consider me when you vote on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2032, against the commander. I want to hear what you have to say. Please tell me about your dreams, your struggles, or whatever else you'd like to share. Call 404-222-2032. Together, we will build a better tomorrow.